Okay, here we have a SE2 from about 1954, somewhere between 54 and 57, and it's working in conjunction with an MM2, which are driving this workshop. One's pushing, one's pulling, so to speak. Got this idea the other day when I think Triplet said something about mill engines or something, got my imagination going. So essentially what we've got then is a pair of them driving the same line shaft and then driving the four workshop tools. I've had to twist the drive band around on the MM2 so they're both singing from the same hinge sheet, so to speak. But as you can see, they drive this little setup perfectly well. I won't have the SE3 running, I think that's a bit overkill. That one tends to be too fast, to say the least. But as you can see, they both run extremely well indeed. It's only the second time I've seen this SE2. Really nice model. I do like the first immediate raised base SE2 from the mid-50s. It's got all of those characteristic traits of that period. And it's a good looking engine actually. I like the way the boiler overhangs the firebox, which is slightly larger than the SE1. So it's slowing down a little bit now, digging in. And this is the one that curiously has the decal on the wrong side of the firebox. Must have been made on a Friday afternoon. Still got a lot of nice shiny paint on the firebox, so it's steam but not a great deal. So they managed to get the paint right even if the decal was wrong. And you see it's driving certainly a 1950s tool shop, workshop. The tools are all from that period. So this is one of the line shafts. In fact, everything on here essentially is from apart from one line shaft with the Mamod, with the Meccano electric motor, it's all from a period of around 1954 to approximately 1963. And it runs exceedingly well. Maybe one day we'll try 3 engines running this, or even 4 engines. I think it's a little bit too much. There's all sorts of permutations connecting everything together. Obviously the Mamod Minor 2 has a vaporising spirit lamp, and the SE2 has trusty wick lamp. This has still got the original wicks in it at the moment, although I'll probably put some of the super wick in it eventually, because the wicks in this one are showing some signs. They're getting a little bit burnt out now. The big Meccano sprocket on the end I used on a Meccano chain. I've got a final setup up so that the very small engines can drive that with just the addition of a Meccano sprocket on their crankshaft, so that in theory even a really small engine should be able to drive this little setup, albeit quite slowly without too much aggravation, because it will give it a very large mechanical advantage. The only other way of running this without twisting the drive band around there would be to ensure that the SE2 is facing the other direction. That makes it a bit awkward taking the drive band off it then. Start with that, or turn that one around the other way. The trouble is then it won't be paired up with the SE3 at all then when they run together. But it's a little fix, a little workaround. This workshop here I'm focusing on, that's a 1950s one. Lovely, nice, large, rectangular decal, screw base, oiling holes to the long bearing. This is one that I did up some time ago. One of my own decals on there, repainted it, and then re-top riveted the base. You can see the differences in the 2 flywheels on these as well. The flywheel on the right, that sort of appeared around about the same time as the MEC1 came in. Whereas the other one's more of the typical early Mazak one, of which I'm still looking for one for a line shaft I acquired the other day, so if anyone has got one kicking around in the bottom of their toolbox, I'm quite willing to buy it or do a swap on it for anything that they might want for my spares box. Little regulator on this one's full open now, and they're both running exceptionally well. The SE3 is an early one with the screw engine frame and the one-piece pistons or cylinders, and that one really does perform well. The hammer, with its characteristic sound. These have all got sort of early parts on it. The grinder is a 52 grinder approximately. There'll be two varying grip wheels on there. The hammer is a screw based one, so it's a fairly early mount up wheel version. And the press is certainly early. It's got an unclipped flywheel, so it's painted right up to the edges. And the polishes from the same era. They all have the white boxes, which certainly sort of date them, certainly no later than 57. There you can see the decal on the wrong side, the red oval decal. I've changed the safety valve on this one for one of my newer ones, because for the original one the sealing washer had completely perished. There you have it. I call this as my #1 workshop, and there you have them, happily steaming together on a Sunday afternoon. What could be better?